Good afternoon. Last week I reviewed the Russian author Fyodor Dostoevsky and his work Crime and Punishment. This week I will review the Polish author William Sikorski. I will analyze the author's life and most popular work, The Vodka is Good, but the Meat is Rotten. The meaning of the title is lost in English translation, but in his native language it is symbolic of the dehumanizing effect of Polish ethnic jokes. The Vodka is Good, but the Meat is Rotten is a book for all times, for our times. Let us understand it further by studying the life of Sikorski and his reasons for writing it. Sikorski was born on April 23, 1616, to an upper-lower middle and a half-class family. He was the third of 3 children, having both a brother and a sister. We have no documented records of the first 63 and a half seconds of his life, but historians believe he spent most of his time in prison. He dropped out of kindergarten to marry a French waitress, but could not support her or his 5 illegitimate children because he lacked the education to get a job. At this point, he had only 2 options: starve or become a world-famous writer. Faced with what must have been the most difficult decision of his entire life, Sikorski began to drink heavily. He was unwilling to face the embarrassment of entering the writing profession, even if it cost him his life. But then, something happened, which turned his life around completely. The pen name was invented. And so, under the pseudonym Mark Twainski, Sikorski made his contribution to the literary world. The book, The Vodka is Good, but the Meat is Rotten, is autobiographical. The main character in the story, Zbigniew Brzezinski, represents himself. The story concerns a man who wants to kill his mother and inherit her money so that he could support his French wife and 5 illegitimate children. Unfortunately, Sikorski is hit and killed by a horse-drawn carriage and is unable to complete the book. Fortunately, however, his brother and sister find the manuscript, write a conclusion, and publish it. Now, before we share this story, let's introduce the characters. If at any point you forget a character's name, you can refer back to this portion of the tape.
Zbigniew's mother. Zbigniew's brother. Zbigniew's sister.
And now we present to you a modern version of The Vodka is Good, but the Meat is Rotten. Our story begins with Zbigniew going to his mother's house to commit the murder. Zbigniew has not yet worked out. Zbigniew has not yet worked out the details in his mind, but he knows that if he wants to collect her inheritance, he has to make her death look natural. He does not feel that should be very difficult because his mother has a very weak heart, but he wonders what his brother and sister would do if they knew he was going to kill their mother. Watch his first step. Bombs away!
Zbigniew is desperate. He runs into the house to get a baseball bat. But when he returns, she's gone. He drops the bat, and then sees her out of the corner of his eye. She is heading down the driveway to the road. He takes chase.
This next part of the story is a topic of much debate amongst critics. It differs in style from the rest of the story, which leads some to believe that it was added later by a different author. The story quickly changes back to the chase scene. He loses sight of her. Then finds her.
done.
You stabbed him?
No, better. I chased him in front of a car.
Here's his manuscript. Let's write down exactly what happened and publish it.
It's a good thing you found that, or we wouldn't have known he was planning to kill her.
It wouldn't have worked anyway if you didn't look so much like Mom.
By the way, where is she?
Guest room.
How long do you think she'll live?
Not very long. Especially when she hears of Zbignev's death. Shock will kill her. Then we'll only have to split the inheritance 2 ways. The vodka's good, but the meat is rotten.
And that is the end of our story. Interestingly enough, Sikorski's mother outlived all 3 of her children, and she published her own book entitled How to Cheat Your Children Out of Their Inheritance. Thanks for being with us, and join us again next week when I review the famous Japanese author Maka Toinchi and his work, The Sake Good, but the Sushi Rotten.